Early in the morning.
What's going on, the people? It's your boy Cam Topical Juice, and we are back with a very different video today. The reason I'm doing this video is because last night, me and Mumsy, we went out for a bit of a date night. Shout out you, Mumsy. Thank you so much for a wonderful evening. We went for some vegan food in Mildred's. Shout out Mildred's. Then we went to see a theatre show. And as you can see from the title, the theatre show was called Four Black Boys Who Have Considered Suicide When the Hue Gets Too Much. When the hue gets too heavy, my apologies. This show was incredibly powerful. I believe every single person and their dog should watch this show. It's incredibly powerful, it's incredibly impactful. The acting is sublime. The themes are second to none. Really, really warmed my heart, and I'd recommend it. So look guys, let's get straight into this video, guys. Like the video for me, hit the bell to be notified for me, please. It's road to 50k. I would love to get 50k in a few months. By summer, by the end of summer, I'd love to be on 50k. Please help your boy get there. It's really hard, this YouTube stuff. It's a grind, it's a slug. Especially when you talk on some of the things I talk about and get shadow banned like I do. But anyway, merchandise in the description below. Get yourself some pillows, get yourself some summer garms, get yourself some donut of the day t-shirts. The rest is incoming, man. The rest is incoming. Now, I haven't written anything down for this. I haven't planned this video. I'm kind of winging it, and I just want to talk about this. Now, the show was written by someone called Ryan Calais Cameron. Don't know. Shout out the other Cams in the world. Now, I was there last night, as I said, and I saw a couple familiar faces. Shout out Alex Scott. Alex Scott, the TV presenter, ex-Arsenal, ex-Lioness, you know what I'm saying? I was literally sat opposite her. I should have spoken to her, really. Tried to get her on Couch Chronicles going forward. Maybe she'll see this video, who knows? But Alex, big up yourself, you're a real queen. Yeah. But you know when you see like kind of public figures and celebrities, I never really like to engage with them, even though, because I'm a YouTuber and I'd love to build network with them. When I see them out living their life, I don't really want to interrupt them. Anyone's there, I just want to let them live their life. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. The show is everything that you expect it to be from the title. As I said, the title is Four Black Boys Who Have Considered Suicide. You understand? Even the title itself is incredibly powerful. I can relate to that title. My friends can relate to that title. I said to my mum not even 2 weeks ago, and she's heard me say this for years, by the way, years, how I've said, I might not necessarily be suicidal. There's a difference between being suicidal and not necessarily wanting to be here no more. And I really know what that feels like. You know what I'm saying? And not even, I mean, suicide anyway, that's something that you flirt with. When the demons get too much a few years ago, you flirt with the idea, but I personally would never have done it because it's very selfish, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm not, if you disagree, I don't care, you can argue with a mirror. I've got very strong family. Not that I have to explain myself, but one of my parents tried to do that shit, you know what I'm saying? So one of my parents would prefer to off themselves than be a good parent, do you understand? That ain't gonna run for me. You'd rather end it all and leave the kids with pain and all these things rather than just be a good parent, you understand? That's not gonna run in my eyes. So I think suicide is selfish. It doesn't matter what you're dealing with. I understand you must be in such a dark place to want to end it all, and I get that, man's been there, do you understand? I'm not talking from someone from the outside. I have been in that dark place for pretty much a quarter of a century. You understand? Forget quarter of a decade, quarter of a century, 25 years I was in that place, you understand? So I know what that place feels like, but I would never have done it because I've got that extra bit of thought process where actually the only person that wins is me. I'm the one that's free. My mum ain't free. My mum's tormented with this, with the question, why would he do this? My friends are tormented, why would he do this? So I ain't gonna explain any more about suicide and all these things. I think it's selfish. So if you disagree, argue with a damn mirror, seriously. So even the title of the show is incredibly powerful, and I can relate to it immediately. A lot of my peers can relate to that. A lot of my peers have had therapy because they're on the brink. I believe the two most important demographics who must see this show are black people and white people. Black people first, because we are reminded that you are not alone. We've really been going through it, you know. We've really been going through it, from the microaggressions to not being loved, to not being chased and kiss chased. You know what I'm saying? To having absent fathers, to going through stabbings and shootings, and you know what I'm saying? This is a reality for a lot of us in the community, and the show articulates everything perfectly. When they were starting a new theme, I knew exactly where they were going to take it as soon as they started it. Whether it was about this, whether it was about that, I just knew what they were going to do, because obviously sometimes they speak in riddles, so it's not quite clear where they're going to go with it. But I knew straight away where they were going to go with it. As soon as they started talking about being at a party and your friends being amped, and they're hyping you up to punch someone because they've looked at you wrong and all these things, I said to my mum, yo, they're going to talk about stabbing next. What happened? They spoke about how violence escalates in these parties, a man gets stabbed, and a mother and a father and a brother lose a family member. You know what I'm saying? They lose a son, they lose a brother. I've seen multiple stabbings in real life. That's normal. I can remember, I've seen it. As I'm looking at the camera right now, I can see one person there on the floor bleeding out. I can see a man getting chefed in the head. You understand? I've seen all this. It never leaves you. You understand that? It never leaves you. The themes are so powerful. Black people, you must see this show because you are not alone. You are not alone with the feelings that you've harbored. You're not alone with the experience you've gone through. You understand? We've all been through it. It unifies us because there's a mixed race person on the stage as well. And we ain't seeing no difference. We ain't thinking, oh yeah, lighty this. We're all black. Now, of course, mixed race people will definitely have a privilege, a certain privilege when it comes to this world, especially this colorist world where being closer to the white is better for you. So me having white in me is definitely going to have a privilege. But that definitely does not take away from racist experiences, especially growing up in white areas. Big facts. Black people are not gatekeepers of racism. But unfortunately, I, as a mixed race person, have gone through untold amounts of racism. You understand? So man can relate to all of it. Every single theme on there is proper powerful. Now, white people must see this show because it's highly educational. It holds a mirror up to society about what white people in the past have done to black people. Now, this isn't a guilt trip thing. This isn't to, oh, it's your fault, it's your fault. This white person who was born in 2001, this white person who was born in 1995, it's your fault. No one's saying that. No one's saying that. The show just highlights what we go through, and unfortunately what we've been through in history has been usually due to white people. So that's just what it is. That's just the facts. So if you feel a bit on edge and a bit nervous and a bit awkward, then don't, because this is just the reality of the situation. You understand? Just don't feel awkward. Just be open to learning. So I believe white people must see this show to understand why we are the way we are, the trauma that a black person must carry just being black, let alone the trauma of being poor, the trauma of street beef, the trauma of not getting jobs, the trauma of this, that and the other. Before all the trauma of life, the trauma of just being black and that weighing on your head is incredible. And I think white people must see this. Now, my only criticism, and it's not even a criticism of the show, my only feedback is that they should have implemented a little segment about hair. You understand? Like about how our hair isn't necessarily accepted in society. Braids, locks. How many times, bro, people told me when I had my modelling contracts back in 2017, you ain't gonna get no work because your locks, bro. How many models have locks, bro? I really wanted to see a theme about your hair at work and it not being deemed as professional, but yet Boris Johnson, who literally looks like he's just beat 10 gal, or he's just woken up from a 20-hour nap and his hair's all skewed and ski-whiff, whatever the word is, and my man's running the country and no one says nish. I remember the first time I wanted to grow locks, you know, being told, oh, why you want to do that? It's not professional, it's not clean, it's not... What? You're telling me my beautiful locks, my beautiful hair ain't clean? You're telling me this ain't professional, this gorgeous hair? Do me a favour. But you're telling me my man with a skewy white afro is what? Nah, man, it's not gonna run. And I wish they had covered that theme. But the themes they speak on are incredibly powerful. SA, beef, absent fathers, us having to uphold a powerful masculine image, even though we're the most vulnerable. Black men are very vulnerable in society. The image, the character we always have to play up to, the mask we always have to wear in society, it touches on that. Because there's 6 different characters and they all represent a different kind of version of a black person. A kind of whitewashed black person, a gangster black person, a homosexual black person, a black person who wants a woman but doesn't know how to approach one, or it's all of them. It covers it covers different, a mixed race person. They got a light skinned person there who talks about kind of being a gallus. I can empathize with a light skinned guy so much, losing myself and drowning myself in women years ago. Not no more, of course, not no more. But when I was young, early 20s, very early 20s, late teens, I was lost. I was toxic. I was tormented by the past, whatever. I've had different forms of escapism. I'm going to open up about certain addictions in my life at some point in the future. There's certain things I've kept to myself in my private life, but I used to use women as escape. You understand? When I was lost, I don't do that no more. I don't even put my energy into no women no more. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, my priority hasn't been women for the last few years. It's not always just been me, myself, my mental health, my focus, my drive. Honestly, guys, it's just such a powerful show. I wish I'd written down some more notes to actually speak with cohesion, but I just wanted to talk from the heart about this because it's fresh. I saw it last night. My mum absolutely loved it. She said it was incredibly powerful. This is a white woman, by the way. She's the one that suggested to me to watch it. All my friends have seen it, but I'm not really a theatre guy, so I don't really know what's going on in the theatre. My mum said, why don't we come see the show? And I saw the show. And it was a really powerful show. I would love to see it again, to be honest. And I've heard it's even better the second time. But it's just incredible, incredible. And the way they end the show with the same line that I've been telling my mum for years. They say they said in the show, there's a fine line between basically wanting to commit and wanting to live. There's a very fine line between wanting to be here and wanting to transition to the next life. Guys, I'm gonna leave you with this one story real quick. My granddad passed away February 2019, and that was a very difficult period in my life in 2019. That was just before I started to grow up properly mentally. It was just before I let go of my demons, a lot of my demons. It was just before I let go of my anger and aggression. I forgave people in my life who had done some. I forgave people in my life, innit? And my granddad passed away, and I bumped off work that day coincidentally. So I bumped off work just coincidentally. I just didn't turn up for work. I didn't want to. The universe told me not to go into my corporate job that day, and I didn't even call in sick. I just didn't go in. Didn't flat out. Literally, I'm so glad I didn't. 10 minutes later, my mum was crying her eyes out downstairs, and she shouted me downstairs saying, "Cameron, your granddad's died." Like, I'm on the phone to Nan, rah. I had my car at the time. I blitzed round there before my mum got there. And my nana opened the door, she's upset, she's crying, and my granddad's dead on the bed, innit? And he was cold and stiff. And the first thing I thought was, he looks so at peace. He was like this, he had his thumb in his mouth like this. And he was dead, he had a heart attack at night. And that was the first time I cried my absolute eyes out, like blubbering for years. I was numb. And I said to myself, thank you so much, Granddad, you made me feel human again. I've been through so much in this life. You made me feel so human again. I was numb. The reason I tell you this story here is because I never felt sadness after I cried. He was at peace. The only people that are sad are the ones that are still here. And when you've been through hell on earth, death doesn't scare you. There's a fine line between wanting to be here and actually wanting to transition. I was jealous of him. Because he ain't here no more. He ain't dealing with the pain of living in this world no more. He ain't dealing with the trauma of having to go through it. He ain't dealing with the trauma of the seeing stuff online, wars, corrupt governments, corrupt police forces, whatever it is. There's the heavy weight of existing. When you die, you don't have to feel that no more. You're just at peace. You're free. And the ones that are who ain't free and still trapped are the ones that are still here. I love the fact that the show ended on that theme. I haven't heard anyone say that type of stuff before. I've always said that stuff. I've always said, listen, I will never commit because of my strong opinions on committing. But boy, like, not being here doesn't sound that bad, you understand? That's all I'm saying. Not being here doesn't sound that bad, you get me? But at the same time, I've got a legacy to build. I've got generational wealth to build. I've got a family to build. There's no way I'm committing, you know what I'm saying? I've got a life to live. I've got countries to visit. I've got people to meet. I've got people to help. I've got a world to change, you understand? And I can't do that until I blow off YouTube and blow off a career and I can start building infrastructure in this place and this organization and schools and bridges and whatever. That's my goal. That's my purpose. As well as to help people on a micro level just for my videos. That's my purpose. But yeah, I just wanted to end on that because that theme is very powerful and it's a theme I just wanted to touch on. Every single person should really watch the show, but I especially think black and white people need to see. If any of the cast see this video, big up yourself. You are amazing, amazing actors. You deserve every bit of credit. You deserve every bit of success that's coming your way. You are phenomenal actors, crying on cue, crying on scene. When one of the actors is having a flashback to he's having PTSD from SA that he suffered at 8 or 9 years old, and you can see his body's shaking, he's reacting, he's crying. It was incredibly powerful, incredibly dark. And yeah, if some of you can't handle those themes, get your tissues ready because it's peak one still. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Big up all of you. Big up, is it Ryan again? Yeah, big up Ryan, Calais, Cameron. You done know, you're a real king. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you lot in the next video. And I'm talking about therapy in my next video. Peace.